Hello to the online folks. Hello, Jean and Brian and Linda. Good to see you again. Let's go ahead and start. Looks like we have a quorum here. Well, it's good to be here with all of you again. For those of you who are new or newer, this is the loving kindness meditation here at the Dharma Bum Temple that we have every Wednesday. My name is Alex. It is wonderful to be here with you today. Come in, sit down anywhere you want to. You're welcome. How many people is your first time to the Dharma Bum Temple or your first time to Wednesday? Oh, nice. Nice to see you. Thank you for coming. The word that when we say loving kindness, that's like an anglicized translation of this word in the Pali language called metta, M-E-T-T-A. And this wonderful word, this kind of all-encompassing word, when translated into English, probably I think sometime in the 1800s, was translated into loving kindness. And it is that, of course. It is that, but it's so much more than that. It's unconditional friendliness, goodwill, inoffensiveness, concord, amity, kindness. So many. There's just a lot of words that you could use in place of metta or loving kindness, and it would still work, right? And so this word is really just a wish to be happy, right? A wish for ourselves and others to be happy, and a wish for ourselves and others to do the things that cause happiness, right? And so when we think about what causes happiness, it's a lot of things that cause happiness, but we want to kind of make it kind of easy for everybody. So, the motto of the Dharma Bum Temple is essentially what causes happiness. Like, think good thoughts, speak good words, do good deeds. And so our skillful thoughts and our skillful words and our skillful actions are what cause happiness. And then when we look into, well, what is skillful? Well, skillful, in a nutshell, skillful doesn't cause harm. Skillful causes happiness, doesn't cause harm. Unskillful is the opposite of that. And what we spend our entire practice doing is learning what causes harm and what doesn't cause harm. The Buddha lays it out in so many sutras and so many sermons. These things cause happiness. These things don't cause happiness, right? When he says right speech, he means, well, this kind of speech is skillful and this kind of speech is not. And so we spend our entire practice learning and practicing and perfecting and making mistakes and owning up to them and vowing to do better. And that's our entire practice. Our entire practice is loving kindness. Skillfulness is loving kindness, right? Anything that doesn't cause harm. And so I say it like this because, we're always, if you're here in this room or if you're on any kind of spiritual path, you're in this kind of perpetual state of healing. You're always healing from something. And so when looked at like this, perfection is never imposed on you. It's like, yeah, we know you're going to make mistakes. So do it anyway. And if you make a mistake, well, then do it differently the next time. And yeah. And so when we think about loving kindness, we think about not causing harm to anybody, We think about cherishing others, taking care of others when we can, um, being the cause of happiness, right? And so there was something that happened recently. One of the things that I love to say, and I think I said it last week even, I said, I've been leading meditation here for like 14 and a half years now, ever since like kind of near the end of 2008. And I've never been paid a dime. And and so I was very proud of that. I don't know if I should be proud of that or not, or I don't know if that's my kind of savior complex or just my some like deep seated unworthiness kind of thing going on, or whatever it is. Um, but we have a Buddhist fraternity and sorority here at San Diego State called Delta Beta Tau, or DBT, right? That was very intentional. And a couple weeks ago, I told the Buddha's enlightenment story. And a couple of days ago, I get a letter from the Dharma Bums. And in it is a check made out to me. It wasn't a ton, but it was a check made out to me. And I'm looking at this. I'm like, why? What is this? Why are they paying me to do what I do? Like Jeff doesn't tell people things like beforehand. Things just happen. Right. And so I texted him and said, what's this check for? Oh, well, that's the college kids. That's the sorority. They got a grant. And they said, what they wanted to do with the grant is just give a little something to all the people who teach lead classes. So, okay. And it's like, all right. And so, but I was really internally just a lot of things were coming up about, a lot of imposter syndrome and a lot of unworthiness and like, do I really need this? Do I really accept this? I'll just donate it back to the Dharma Bums. And it's like, I didn't sit with it that long, fortunately. And then I thought about it, and I thought about all the teachings that I've received on giving and generosity. And the Buddha placed a lot of emphasis on generosity, especially in terms of loving kindness. And there's a skillful way to give, because all giving is beneficial, but some is, the more you practice, like the wiser you can give. And he talks about those different kinds of levels. And he talks about receiving gifts as well, and skillful ways to receive a gift as well. So I thought about that, and I just happened to be reading the book on that. One of Tom Jeff's book called Merit. So Merit. And I just happened to be reading that at the time. And I thought to myself, I will receive this, instead of saying, no, I don't deserve this, I'm not good enough. No, I will receive this, and I will do so gladly and happily and gratefully. Now, of course, still all the other stuff is coming up, but I can just see what that's all about and see, no, and this is the skillful way to kind of deal with, is to kind of receive gratefully and happily, and thankfully. And so it taught me a lot about like loving kindness for myself, and so those like self kind of deprecating thoughts, I just put those in the background and just be really thankful for them. And plus the fact that I'm really grateful for, because these are just college kids, they're like 18, 19, 20, 21. It's like, wow, that they thought to do this. How amazing. I mean, I wouldn't have done that when I was that age, certainly. So I learned a lot about kind of skillful receiving and just being grateful for other people's giving. So anyway, um, so what we're going to do is we're going to have this meditation, and then we're going to have this like a question, maybe a little question and answer afterwards. um, Somebody asked me a question last week, and I forget who it was. It was somebody online, and they asked, when you're doing this practice for a benefactor and this benefactor isn't living anymore, it sounds really, really weird to say, may you be happy, because they're not living anymore, you know? And thinking about this is begs a whole lot of other questions. Um, and other possible solutions and possible answers. So I don't know who it was, if it was you, any of you guys, Linda or Brian or Linda or Jean. I don't remember who it was, and I apologize. But it was a great question and one that I had never thought about before. And so um, we'll talk about it a little bit after the meditation. So I'm going to guide this meditation for our new people, and so don't worry about it. Any questions before we start? All right. Let's begin. Just allow your eyes to close, making sure you have that seated and comfortable position where you're not likely to move around too much. And when we sit like a Buddha. And you can even imagine yourselves as a Buddha sitting underneath your own tree of enlightenment, ready for the day's abiding. So let's just take a deep breath all the way in and all the way out. At first, not forcing the breath, letting it be quite easy and quite natural. If you want, focusing on the breath at the base of the nostrils, feeling the air go in and out as you breathe. Or if you want, you can just feel the breath go all the way in through the nostrils and into the heart and into the belly. And on the exhale from the belly, through the heart and out through the nose. So, whatever kind of meditation that we're doing, we always want to have about 25% of our attention on the breath, keeping us anchored to the present moment. If we have a thought that arises that's distracting, we simply say, thinking, and come back to the breath. Just that act of saying thinking will snap the mind back to the present moment, where it's the happiest, where it can be at peace. So, just for the next couple of moments, just rest as gently as you can in the sensations of the breath. And so, to begin our formal practice of loving kindness, unconditional friendliness, and goodwill, we're first going to think of a benefactor. And a benefactor is anyone who has shown us great love or great kindness, someone it's really easy to have these feelings for. You just think of this person and you smile and you have good feelings, remembering the ways their love and kindness has benefited you, has touched your heart. There's a lot of flexibility here: mother, father, brother, sister, best friend, whomever it is. And you can do this practice by either just radiating loving kindness to them, that's one way, and however you understand that word, or just repeating phrases of loving kindness for them. May you be happy. May you be safe from inner and outer danger. May you be well in body and mind. May you be at peace and live at ease in this world. You can have as many benefactors as you want. They could be living, they could be not living, they could be near, they can be far away. It doesn't really matter. So, for the next few moments, we'll do this practice of loving kindness for our benefactor. And now shifting our focus just a little bit from this practice of loving kindness for our benefactor to now just imagining our benefactor doing this practice for us. It could be the same benefactor, it could be a different one, doesn't matter. Remembering again their love and their kindness, the effect it had on us, and our job really is just to receive it again. We already have the experience of their loving kindness for us. So, can we then just recall that and just receive it again? Imagine them looking at you, smiling at you, radiating loving kindness towards you, and just receiving all of it again. Sometimes it's helpful to put your hand over your heart. It's always helpful to smile. Puts the mind in a good mood. And gratitude for their loving kindness. And we'll do this for the next few moments. And then shifting our focus again to probably the most important part of this meditation, that is loving kindness for ourselves. And so, at first, can we just recall our own wish to be happy, our own wish to be free from harm and to be healthy, to live at ease and at peace? It's a wish that everybody, every human has for themselves. That's all any human wants. And so it's okay to have loving kindness for ourselves. It's the most important thing we can do for ourselves. And to do so, can we either just radiate loving kindness back to ourselves, maybe imagining our heart getting bigger and warmer, happier, because that light is coming from inside, self perpetuating because of our loving kindness for ourselves. Or maybe we can just repeat phrases of loving kindness for ourselves, like, may I be happy, may I be safe, may I be well, may I be at peace and live at ease in this world. If you want, you can keep your hand over your heart, you can keep smiling. And so we'll do this for the next few moments. And finally, can we explore the limitless quality of the heart, the limitless potential that we all have to include in our loving kindness practice all beings in all directions, whatever living beings there may be, those living near and far away, may all beings be at ease, spreading upwards to the skies and downwards to the depths, outwards and unbounding, unbounded. You can get there gradually. You can just go for it when you're first starting. However you want to do it is fine. All beings in all directions. Radiate, give them loving kindness. And just open your eyes when you're ready. Let's take the next couple of moments out in silence as you stretch your arms and you stretch your legs. Maybe reflecting on what that experience of meditation was like for you. And then we will begin. If you have any questions, comments, just hold them until then. Give it like another 30 seconds. Well, that was good for me. One of the things that I appreciated, it wasn't so cold. I mean, it's cold, but not like it was just like a few weeks ago. Um, just some good juju in the air and the good juju in the temple today. So I appreciate that. Um, all right. Any questions on the instructions at all? Really chilly, straightforward. I normally don't get a lot of questions on that. That's okay. So, always interested to know what your experience of meditation is like. Things that were easy or not so easy or surprising or, whatever it may be. I'd love to hear from you. Yes.
It's been years now that I've been coming to the temple.
Mm-hmm.
My first time coming was love and kindness.
Yeah.
And I'm going back a couple of many years, not many, but a lot. And it's always been still the easiest for me to meditate too, or by myself. I may not take 5 minutes on each benefactor, or I go through once each one. I'm in a hurry, or I just need to take a quick minute. I find out when it's easy to stay focused, and when you wander, it's easy to push yourself back in because it's so straightforward. So for me, it's a meditation for dummies, and it is my favorite.
Good. Good. I'm glad. The instructions are simple. It's just the execution of the instructions can be sometimes difficult. That's why I don't get a ton of questions on specifically the instructions. Although I will ask, because you never know. So thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate you sharing that. What was your name?
Gary.
Gary. Thanks, Gary. So I wanted to answer a question, and then we'll get back to if anyone has anything about that question I got at the class yesterday or last week. And the question was, when we're doing loving kindness or having our benefactor doing loving kindness for us, or we're doing loving kindness for a benefactor, and that benefactor isn't alive, that feels really weird to say, may you be happy. Because who am I saying this to? And I thought about it a while, and I go, well, that question could really only come from like an atheist. Maybe an agnostic too, but agnostic or atheist. Which is okay, because we have plenty of agnostic and atheists here. And that's why they come here, because we don't force anything on anybody. We don't ask you to believe in anything, and we still don't. But it's a really valid question. coming from that perspective, right? And so what I would say to that is, one, I don't know where they are, first of all, um, if they're anywhere. Um, and the thing about, because we don't ask you to believe in anything specifically, you know, we don't have any kind of like metaphysical tenets that you have to abide by or anything like that or believe in. Um, can you, before you do that, just come to the realization that I don't know where you're at. I have no idea. I don't know. And just have I don't know be okay. Because in Buddhism, we love that. We don't know. That's like, I don't know is like the best possible place to start from. It is the best possible place to operate from. I don't know. In the Korean Zen, they have this thing called don't know mind. Dunno. And if you don't have any ideas on it, then you can't suffer from it. And so if you don't know where this person or these people are, then you can't suffer when you say, may you be happy. You don't have to know where they are. I don't know. Because I don't know either. And sometimes, you know, the Buddha never took a position on something like the soul. You know, there's this idea in spirituality in general of like there's like atheism, which, you know, like you're dead and you're in the dirt and that's it. And then there's this eternalism, right? The soul gets reborn and, you know, whatever, ever living soul. And there's these two extremes, right? And the Buddha doesn't take a position on either one because he says these are fraught with suffering, these two ideas here. And so let's both of you guys come to the middle, or at least start to come to the middle. Right? He called these places like a thicket of views. And if you know what a thicket is, it's just filled with tangled thorns and leaves and everything else. And just a very uncomfortable place to be. And he says that's where these two extremes will get you if you hold on to them for too long or too tightly, I should say. So I don't know. You don't have to know where they're at. You don't have to know that they're anywhere. This is a strategy for you, right? For your benefit, to reduce your suffering. Right? It's just a strategy that you're taking. You're not believing in anything necessarily. You don't have to know where they're at. It doesn't matter. And I wish I can go back and figure out who that was who said that. Who asked that question? Yes, I'm sorry, you had a question.
My question is random, sorry.
That's all right. Random questions are fine.
I meant to ask this, or wanted to ask your opinion. Have you ever read the book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck? Sorry.
Oh, you can say fuck. It's all right.
Sorry, the title, I'm just trying to sign it.
That's fine. You can say that here.
You know,
I say it.
the weird saying that in temple.
Yeah. The weird art of not giving a fuck. Yeah.
I say it all the time.
No, I haven't. I know what it's about, and it's just, and it's very helpful. And sometimes we just need that language.
Yeah, and thank you, you're right, but I just started to play that on in audio. Through Audible, last night as I was cooking dinners, there are all these books I want to read for Dave Brown, and there's Buddhist books, and I have this long list, and I'm sure everyone can identify with wanting to read and not finding the time. So last night I said, I'm just gonna I've heard this book and that it overlaps with certain Buddhist practices or what I learned in other therapeutic settings and et cetera. But it was interesting last night, the chapter that I was listening to, he said with regard to happiness, this author said that happiness is not the absence of problems, right? Now, you know, if I can get to this next job, I won't have money problems, I'll be happy. Or if I get this relationship also fulfilled and not be happy. Obviously, we speak about just feeling fulfilled with your self-care
Mhm.
and relinquishing control,
Mhm.
responsibility, and everything else first, and then providing love to others and loving kindness. But the alternative in his eyes was to say that happiness lies within the solutions that you bring yourself, rather than again um, the actual goal or what you're trying to achieve.
Mhm.
The actual just solving those issues or those conflicts. And I thought of Jeff on Tuesdays as he has this as his regular part of his, I guess, monologue at times, is that life is just what happens to us and how we react to it.
Yeah.
So I just partnered, I was just kind of identifying with that as we were speaking about loving kindness today too, and just overall happiness. How it's just about, again, how you respond to things in life and how you solve them.
Yeah.
Can you speak on that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. And it really ties in nicely with karma.
Yeah.
Because, people who are not necessarily versed in Buddhism, like at karma is something that's quite fatalistic. They think that karma is something happened to you, it's your karma. You're sick, it's your karma.
Yeah.
It's your karma, it's your karma. And so, you tell that somebody to a Westerner and they just think they're bad, right? Because something bad happened, or they thought that something bad happened, so they're bad. And they think there's like no way out. So they're just like this receptacle of karma, right? And the Buddha was very clear. No, that's not the way it is. The Buddha said, your present is shaped by what happened in the past, your past karma, and what you do now, how you shape your reality now, and how you relate to your present circumstances now. And that's why we talk about now and the present moment being so important, because now is what you can do. You can do something about now, right? And you can develop the skills to do something about now. And that's what we have all of these practices, so that you can then develop all these skillful practices about the present moment and your present karma, right?
Thank you, and that's what his book's about, really, is not that he said it's not, there's this fallacy, it's not about not giving up.
Yeah.
It's about just saying it's okay to feel crappy. It's okay
Right.
to go through this pain,
Right.
so that you generate these lessons and then you have to respond to life better, because no matter what, there in life, dukkha, there will always be suffering or some level of pain. Just how much you want to, well, not want to, but allow that suffering.
Yeah, and the other thing that he said was that the end of suffering is possible. The end of all of that is possible. And that's probably the most, one of the most important things that he's ever said. The end of suffering is possible. Suffering is just what the problem is, right? This is the illness that we all suffer from, suffering, right? Our relationship to what's going on in the present moment, regardless of, what caused it. And he said, the end of suffering is possible. And if it wasn't, then I wouldn't even be here telling you this. And the path to the end of suffering that needs to be developed is the Noble Eightfold Path, which is the fourth noble truth. He describes he tells you that you have an illness. He says, here's the cause of the illness. You can be cured of this illness, that it's possible. A cure is available to you, and here it is. You have to develop here's the medicine that you take. Right. Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I really like, kind of what I listen to is, like you said, Audible. There's this website called Audio Dharma, and it's an app. It's a free app called Audio Dharma. And it's free talks, free Buddhist talks, never charged. And so you can listen to that. I listen to a lot of Tanjev stuff, Thanissaro Bhikkhu. I like him because, one, he's up in Valley Center. Two, he's very prolific. There's a ton of his talks there. Three, he is an American dude. And so he understands our culture. His monk name is Thanissaro Bhikkhu. THANISSARO, Bhikkhu, BHIKKHU. Thanissaro Bhikkhu. Or sometimes it says Tom Jeff. Jeff is GEOFF. Yeah. You'll see it. Yeah, he's very soft spoken, kind of deep voice, soft spoken, speaks kind of slowly. If you want, I have the app on my phone. I'll just show you. Make it easy. Yeah. Anything else? Oh, thanks, Brian. All right. Thank you, guys. It was wonderful to be here with you tonight. Thank you for being here and sharing in this wonderful practice of loving kindness. Now let's join our palms. Oh, are we gonna have announcements or? You do? Okay, go ahead. Let's come up and have some announcements. Then we'll end.
Hello everyone, I am tonight's host Travis. We opened the Dharmabund Temple 16 years ago to introduce Buddhist practice to those who show up. Those who lead are not nuns, monks, gurus, masters, or teachers, and are not looking for students. They're simply practitioners sharing their interpretation of the practice with others. Almost every night we have different classes led by people from various Buddhist traditions. We have a recovery sangha that meets several times a week for anyone battling addiction. And our food redistribution program is every Thursday at 5 p.m. We have classes and programs every day, and everything we offer here is always free. The full schedule is on our website and posted in the entryway above the shoe rack. We also have a lending library. If you see a book you like, feel free to borrow it, then bring it back whenever you're done with it. Please straighten your seat or cushion before you head out. Thank you for being here. We wish you well and hope to see you all again. The only special announcement is we have a Lama coming, I think in like 2 weeks. It's posted out in the hallway too. Special guest talk on a Sunday, I believe.
Awesome. Thank you. Now we can join our palms together at our hearts, please. And may the benefits of this meditation, this discussion be received by all beings in all directions. May all beings be free from suffering. May all beings be at peace. May all beings be joyful and at ease. May all beings be happy. And may all beings be loved and seen for the beautiful, radiant beings that they are, that you are. Thank you for coming. Thank you, everybody.
Can I see what your app looks like?
Yeah.
I'm sure I can find it.